We're going to continue looking at modifying content within a Pages document by taking a look at a text box, shape, and then photo and video. So I do want to remove these two other objects, so I will just highlight once and delete. I will just tap once again and delete. So I'm going to go to my plus, I'm going to go to the shape, and I'm going to add a text box. Remember, the text box is different from the actual text in Pages because it is viewed as an object. Therefore, it is going to function that way and have the formatting options of an object. So once the box is highlighted, if I go up to my formatting paintbrush, you'll see that I can change the style. Now I can add a backing to the text box itself, so I can have a fill if I would like to have a fill and change the options there. I can show a border, I can change that border, I can show a shadow, change the options for the shadow, and I can change the reflection. So I could insert again a text feature, make it stand out, make it drawn out from the document by going in and adding a text box. The other nice thing about the text box is it is not limited to wherever the cursor is on the page. So let me go to a lighter shade of a color and we'll add that text box there. Now when it comes to the text, you can change the individual font within that text box that will only apply to that text box. So if I want to make this font the chalk duster font, so I can go to that, I can make it bold, I can shrink the size a little bit, change the color of the text to be a blue color, and then I can change where it is in the text box, top, right, middle. I can add bullets or lists if I need to. I can add columns, I can add margins, so you'll see that you can really manipulate the text here as you need or as you would like. Whenever you are doing this, again, this only applies to that text box. So if I did all of this and then I wanted to reshape it, I could insert it here at the beginning of my essay. I could double click and enter the text that I want, and I'll just put test of text feature. And you'll see that it is now dropped in as a part of my essay. I can move it, I can rearrange it however I would like, so it becomes a piece that I can use as a nice text feature to stand out. If you want to add a line, you can use the line to delineate between sections, to add a graphic into your essay. So let's say that I wanted to change this, and I grab the line, and I want this to be kind of a border as I set off the text feature right there. That would just be one way that you could use the line as an object to drop into your essay. The other thing you can do is add a shape. Now you can add any of these shapes that you would like. You will be able to modify, change the color, change the font that is within them. So maybe you want to point out or have the students point out a very important piece of the essay. So I can drop that in. I can resize and reshape according to the object that I put in there. So some of the shapes have these additional green dots on them that will allow you to change it. You can take two fingers and rotate the object. So I could rotate this to maybe point this way as opposed to simply just straight on. I can then highlight the object, go to my formatting paintbrush, and you'll see that I have all of the same features and options as I did with the text box. So I can add a border, shadow, reflection. I can change the color if I want. I can add text within there and modify the text because remember, each shape is a text box. So if I double click on the object and I say arrow, you'll see that it is in the direction that the shape is in. So you can turn it and it will write in the direction that it is in. The other thing that you can do if you look at the formatting is that you have the ability to change the sizes of each of the line spacings, the color, and then you always have your arrange options just like we looked at with each and every object that you put into a Pages document. So that is the formatting of an object that is a shape within a Pages document. The other thing we want to look at formatting are images, videos. So if I drop in a photo from my camera roll, let's say that I choose this photo right here. It is just going to put it into the document, and I'm then going to need to reshape it a little bit and move it so that it is where I would like it to be. Remember, as always, you can go to your paintbrush feature, choose Arrange, and if you want to move it with the text or have it automatically move the text around, you can. The other thing you'll see when you go to Arrange with a photo is that you can flip the image to be what you want it to be. So you would not necessarily need to put this image into, let's say, Photos or Adobe to make those modifications. If you go to Style, you'll see that you have several borders you can choose from. You can scale that so that you can see how much or how little that will impact the image. You can add a shadow or a reflection, the same things you can do with the other objects within the Pages app. Now if you go to Image, there are two things under Image that are different than the other objects you can drop into a Pages document. One is Edit Mask. If you choose Edit Mask, it essentially is allowing you to crop without having to change the size or worry about pixelation. So if you choose that, you'll see there's a slider right here that allows you to zoom in on the image, and then you can move it to wherever you would like it to be. So if I want this hat to be the focal point, I can edit my mask, choose Done, and now that image stays the same size, but I have zoomed in. If you want to remove that, you can go back to the paintbrush, choose Edit Mask, put it back to where it was, recenter it, choose Done, and there your image is back as what it was originally. The other thing that you'll see you can do is what is called Instant Alpha. If you choose Instant Alpha, it is going to tell you to drag across the colors to make them transparent, and essentially what you're going to do is cut out the image that you want to have in there. So if you put your finger on there, you'll see a circle, and as you begin to drag, it will turn blue. What you are going to do is filter out any of the other colors that you do not want in there so that you have an isolated object or image. When I choose Done, you'll see what it kept. Now this is nice if you have an object in a photo with a varying background color. You do need to have differing colors so that you can't necessarily use one where there are a lot of brown colors or greens because it'll flood together. But if you wanted to cut out an icon or an image so you don't have that large white square border around it, let me show you what I mean by that. When I go back to Style, I'm going to turn off the border. I'm going to turn off the shadow. So now when I have this image and I put it into the text, it would show up just as that hat. So if I'm talking about a geology essay and I capture an image of a rock but there's a border around it, usually I can cut that border out just by using that Instant Alpha in Pages, and it will put that object by itself within the Pages document that I am creating. You can also do this in Keynote or Numbers, so again you do not have to go out of the app in order to manipulate that. Now let's say that I wanted to add directly from the camera on the iPad. I can do that. So I can take a photo, and let's say that I just take a photo right here. I'm going to use the photo. It will drop that image in. I can resize it. I can move it. I can do all of the same things with an inserted photo from the camera that I just took in Pages as I can if I am working out of the camera roll. So it gives you the exact same options as it would if you choose from the camera roll. So I'm going to delete that image, and as always, you can go in and modify any of these anytime that you would need.